Yo, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and for today's video, I am killing one bird with two stones, or is it one stone with two birds? I don't know. But I've got the new G.I. Joe classified Dusty figure, which I'm going to give you guys a quick look at and share some thoughts on. And then also, the real main goal of this video is I got a brand new camcorder and I wanted to test it out. So this is kind of my first video with the new camcorder. So hopefully you'll notice a bit difference with the actual review portion of this video. This portion of me just talking to you is the same, but the review studio's got an updated camera. So let's head on over there and let's take a look at the new G.I. Joe classified Dusty figure from Hasbro. Okay, so the figure comes in the same style of packaging we've been seeing with the recent G.I. Joe Classified. This one still has the plastic on the packaging. You've got the blue box. The figure's clearly displayed. You've got the artwork there, the classified logo down below, and the name of the character. On this side of the packaging, it tells us it's number 49 in the series. And then on this side of the packaging, we've got a look at additional artwork of Dusty. And then on the back, of course, we have that same artwork that's been featured with the more recent G.I. Joe classified figures. All right, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. So for accessories with this figure, you get his backpack. And you can see it's pretty nicely detailed. It's done with a dark brown paint and seems to be reminiscent of the original backpack that Dusty came with. You've got the pouches and such on it. So overall, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then Dusty also comes with a rifle that is very reminiscent of the one that the original toy came with. I am not familiar with the name of this weapon, but it has that signature rifle stand. However, one thing I want to note, the rifle stand does not appear to be removable on this rifle. On the original toy, you could take it off. It would fall off fairly easily, whereas this one, it goes all the way through and connects to each side, and from what I can tell, it's not removable. So, but otherwise, this is a very nice looking weapon. Also, the stand is a different shade of color than the rest of the rifle. The stand is a dark, very kind of rust brown, and then the rifle itself is done more with a gun type black. You've got the scope, you've got some detailing on the barrel. You also get a magazine that is removable, so you can plug in the magazine there, and you have that sticks on the back there. Dusty comes with a knife, just a typical knife with the metallic silver on the blade and just the black handle with the sculpting for the wrapping. And then he does have a sheath so that you can stick in his boot. So you do have a place to store the knife on this figure. The figure has two pairs of goggles. So the one that has the smaller strap is the one that just goes over the hat. So basically this is if you want him to wear the goggles. So you'd put the goggles on over his eyes, and then you can take the cap that is included with it and then put on his head. But if you want the goggles to fit over the cap, like is how the original figure portrayed it, then you want to go and put the cap on first, and then you want to get the ones with the bigger strap, and those will fit over the cap here. So those basically sit on the top of his head. And again, that's more reminiscent of how the original figure looked because he never actually the original figure never showed him wearing the actual goggles. And then the final accessory is his hat. So, for desert warfare, you've got the desert camo pattern on it. It is done with a soft rubber material, so it does fit on his head. But I will say it does look a little big on him, so, I guess that's the drawback to having the removable cap. I don't know, maybe it would have been better if they just made it so the cap wasn't removable. Like I said, you can have the goggles on or off. You want to use the bigger ones, and then you just stick them on there. The cap stays on there fairly well, so you don't really have to worry about the cap falling off. It's just like I said, it does look a little bit big on the figure. Okay, and then for the figure itself, so with the head sculpt, I think they've done a pretty good job. He does have the dark brown camo pattern painted on his face like on the original figure. He's got the dark brown hair, so he's got the dirty blonde type hair. But overall, I think they've done a pretty good job. Eyebrows look pretty good. Eyes look pretty good. So no complaints there. You got some nice detailing on the outfit. So he's got his name there with the American flag on the right side. And then on the left side, he's got the G.I. Joe logo. This web gear is a separate piece. So you can kind of move it around a little bit on the figure. He's got the pouches here. A nice sculpting detail. And then again, you have the desert camo pattern down the arms. You have the sculpting detail on the ends of the sleeves. Good skin tone with the hands. You get 2 grip hands with the figure. Now this middle piece here is a separate piece. So one thing you want to note is you have this kind of glossy paint here on the ab crunch, but then you have the soft rubber material for this midsection piece. So the 2 textures do look a little bit off. It's not that major to me. I don't have any real issue with it, but you do notice a little bit difference between this midsection piece and the upper torso there. Then you have, it's not, the bottom section is not, I think the middle piece there matches up with the bottom section better than it does with the upper section. Also, you've got like the little pouches sculpted on his arms. So that's nice. And then with the legs, you've got this line pattern. And again, more pockets there on the pants. Same with the camo pattern. The knees stand out a little bit because again, the shade of the paint is a little bit different than the rest of the leg. So that looks a little funny to me, and there's no camo pattern on the knees. So the knees definitely, to me, kind of stick out a bit there. Then you have the boots. You have the knife sheath on the right boot there. But you have some nice sculpting detail on these boots. They definitely look like army boots. And, dark brown to go along with the rest of the outfit. The figure stands right about just under 6.5 inches tall. And here's a comparison with Stalker. So you've got the green camo pattern with Stalker, and you've got the brown camo pattern with Dusty. And then also here's a comparison with the classified Duke figure. So all 3 of these are pretty close to the same height. Okay, and then for articulation, you can turn the head all the way around. He can look down about that much, and then he can look up about that much. And the whole neck moves, so you get, pretty good movement, pretty good head pivot there. You actually get movement with the whole neck. He does have a pretty tall neck. And then with the arms, you can get the arms out good. You do have those butterfly joints there, so you get some pretty good back and forth movement there at the shoulders. You've got good rotation. You've got the bicep swivel. You get the double hinged elbows there. You got rotation with the hands. You've got the hinges, so up and down movement. You do have the ab crunch, so he can crunch forward pretty good. And he can look back pretty good there. You get some clicky noise there. You get the waist swivel. With the legs, he can do the splits really good. You can get the leg forward good. You can do the leg back. Joints are nice and tight as well, so I haven't had any issues with loose joints on this one. You get the thigh swivel. You get the double hinged knee, so good bending there at the knee. You get a boot cuff swivel. You get hinges on the feet, and you do get ankle pivot. Okay, and then just real quick, here's a look at the figure with all the accessories attached. The backpack, him holding his rifle. He's got his hood on. So, I got to say, for the most part, I don't think this is a bad figure in any way, but I do have some minor complaints. It's probably one of my more least favorite classified figures that Hasbro's done in the line. Also, just to be honest, Dusty is not a favorite character of mine, but I do feel like the hood is a little big looking on the figure. I think it would have been better if Hasbro had just made it as a permanent part of the head, so it fit a little bit better. Also, this midsection piece kind of looks off a little bit between the upper sections and the lower sections. It just kind of sticks out a little bit to me. So, also one other thing I've noticed is there's quite a bit of gappage. You get quite a bit of gappage between the shoulder and the rest of the arm there at the bicep swivels. I haven't had the arms pop off at all. I did have some issues with my Zorana arm, popping off. One of the arms would pop off fairly easily. This one is not. I have not had any issues with it popping off, but I did notice you get some gappage there with both of those joints. But again, overall, not a horrible figure, just one of my least favorite in the line. Also, Dusty is not a favorite character of mine either. But this figure, if you are a fan of Dusty, and, I think he does play a significant role in the team, so I'm definitely glad to be able to add him to the roster. So, but if you want to check this figure out, it is available at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. Okay, so that's my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know it was a quickie. Hopefully you noticed the difference in quality in the images during the review with the new camcorder. Certainly feel free to share your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.